While his boss spoke to Vladimir Putin, the new defense secretary met some of America's oldest allies. But this relationship is about to come under significant strain over Russia's war in Ukraine and wider European security.
We want, like you, a sovereign and prosperous Ukraine. But we must start by recognizing that returning to Ukraine's pre-2014 borders is an unrealistic objective. Chasing this illusionary goal will only prolong the war and cause more suffering.
He then ruled out NATO membership for Kyiv and US involvement in any peacekeeping force.
To be clear, as part of any security guarantee, there will not be US troops deployed to Ukraine.
A stark message too for his NATO allies.
We're also here today to directly and unambiguously express that stark strategic realities prevent the United States of America from being primarily focused on the security of Europe. The United States faces consequential threats to our homeland. We must and we are focusing on security of our own borders. We also face a peer competitor in the communist Chinese. As the United States prioritizes its attention to these threats, European allies must lead from the front.
Key to that is investing much more in defence, something the US has been demanding for years. European allies here at NATO won't be surprised that they're feeling the heat once again from Donald Trump about their defence spending. But the president does have a point. Without the United States guaranteeing security here, the continent looks pretty weak, with many of its militaries lacking the capacity to fight an enduring war. Speaking to Sky News, the British Defence Secretary refused to be pushed on whether the UK should commit more of its GDP to the military. Are you comfortable with the UK only aiming to spend 2.5%?
I'm proud we're a government that was elected to increase defence spending.
To 2.5%?
That we've made a commitment to increase defence spending that we've not seen in Britain for 15 years.
Yeah, but there's a war in Europe.
That is part of the wider effort that I was chairing, where European nations and others recognise that we must increase defence spending, and we will.
With the US preparing to take a back seat in Europe and huge questions over how Russia's war in Ukraine will end, though, there's a growing sense of urgency here. Deborah Haynes, Sky News, NATO.